That right there is the Descendants' artistic statement of purpose, all an example of the mighty power of unbelievably short songs. Now, you might think that mini-songs are only a development of our fruit fly attention span Twitter/ringtone era, but they're connected to the whole history of minimalist art. For instance, it's fair to say that this highlight of the 41-band, 52-song compilation Blurg owes something to Aram Saroyan's one-word poems like Light, and this form was developed and mastered by the great jingle writers of the mid-20th century. Cotton Candy has recently been reviving some of their forgotten masterpieces like this one from the 80s.
Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar in their vitamins. Doing.
Commercial music always has to do a lot with a little. Brian Eno's most heard work came from a commission to write a piece that was, quote, inspirational, sexy, driving, nostalgic, sentimental, and not more than 3.8 seconds long. Windows Startup. Now, frankly, a lot of microsongs are gestural pieces that are all about evoking a particular kind of music very, very, very quickly. Can there be a more dead-on distillation of late 80s, early 90s British indie pop than Ducklings #1?
Ducklings.
There's also a slower, funkier version, Ducklings #2, not kidding. Or for that matter, could there be a more perfect emo song than Crash and the Boys' masterpiece from the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World soundtrack?
Thank you.
And has there ever been anything more utterly twee than the tiny little butterfly that is Fluff, 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 and Cuddleyness, I'm Not Ashamed from the 1992 Wah compilation? Or as perfect a tribute to Darby Crash's total and absence of enunciation of hyper-articulate lyrics as this wonder by the Albany-based band that said they put the core back in queercore. If it starts. Here we go. Or a piece of conceptual art as conceptual as this one by British conceptual artist Martin Creed's conceptual group Owada, which is all about numbers and concepts.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And sometimes hyperminimalism just means saying all there is to say very, very quickly. This brings us back around to the fact that punk and its descendants have actually gotten really good at cramming a bunch of content into a very short song. Here's a champion example of a seemingly inchoate blast blurt with a complicated structure. From the first Negative Approach single.
I can't take this pressure.
Intro, chorus, verse, second chorus, and outros. 8 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another tricky one by Kid Dynamite who even get a bass solo in there. And speaking of that artwork, the microsong tradition pops up in classic rock too. Even Pete Townshend could get to the point when he wanted to.
Extra, extra, read all about it. The pinball wizard and the miracle cure. Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra.
That's actually the whole plot of Tommy right there. Melt Banana always play a suite of short songs in their live shows. Here's one of them. Lots of structure there, too. Microsongs can also be a way to impress your audience with how tight your band is. John Zorn's group Naked City used to read their songs like this one off of sheet music on music stands on stage. You can also do full-on traditional pop structures if you're fast enough. There's even a triplet turnaround at the end of this punk pop song that's short enough to be a ringtone by the Steinways.
One cat, two cat, red cat, blue cat. Oh my God, you've got a new cat.
Great microsongs can be reproducible accidents. Here's the most played single in the history of Swedish radio. That single's B-side was a comparatively epic 7 seconds long, and Nez Nix is an actual composition. The singer of the group, Bob Fosco, later remade it with a classical ensemble, as you'll hear.
Nez Nix.
It's still not the shortest single ever. That honor belongs to Napalm Death and their 1 second long existential grindcore classic You Suffer, which a friend of mine uses as his beep noise on his laptop. And you can use it that way. It's utilitarian, it doesn't waste anyone's time, and it says a lot about the power and limitations of a genre. But the genius of the microsong is that the more precise you are, the more beautifully and efficiently you can make your point. You can even build suspenses with this classic by Naked City, with which I'll leave you. Wait for it. Wait for it. Thanks.